Smiling faces, sometimes they don't tell the truth. Smiling faces tell lies, and I got proof. Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Ty, and I am here to review Season 4, Episode 9 of Power Book 3, Raising Kanan. And this episode is titled, It's About That Time. And I know y'all saying, Ty, it's about time you got this review up. I know. I do apologize to you. I did watch episodes 9 and episodes 10, but I'm just now getting this review up, so I do apologize to you. So shout outs to my lovely subscribers who've been holding me down in the comment section and watching all my videos. And that song that I was singing just now, that was at the end credits of this episode, so that's why it's still in my head. Smiling faces tell lies by the Undisputed Truth. Y'all don't know nothing about that. But anyway, shout outs to my folks, P. Bronson, Lamont Simpson, June BLC, The RC Kroger, Oh Boogie Baby, Simply Be Yourself 100, Johnson Go Hustle, and Tayon's World. What did I say? And The RC Kruger. I think I said everybody. And all the rest of you wonderful people, you know who you are. Keep this channel going and growing. I do appreciate you. Now, let's get down to this here review. Oh, my goodness. Poor Crystal. Let's start with Crystal. Crystal is chained up. They done abused her, drugged her up, trying to get some information. The crooked cops took her in the previous episode. Now we see her all chained up and hair all messed up, just all messed up. I said, oh, this ain't looking good for Crystal. And we find out that Pops is snap half her. Pops comes in there trying to do this. Oh, oh, poor baby, we got to get you out of here. Let me take these chains off you. And she's like, you haven't eaten anything. Let me feed you. Totally gassing Crystal up, playing in Crystal's head like, oh, listen, I just need to know what happened. Tell me, maybe you two bad bees like us, we can discuss this and we can have a conversation. So Crystal tells her, I already told him everything that I know. I don't know anything. I don't know what Kane is thinking, who he thinks killed his friend. And then she says, but wait, he did say that he thinks his mother has something to do with it, but I told him she didn't. And of course, while she's eating her peanut butter and jelly sandwich, bang, Pops kills her. So rest in peace to Crystal. We knew that was going to happen. But what this does, this affects Kanan in a major way because Crystal was supposed to be going off to Delaware. He should have went with her or something, got on that bus or something. She's supposed to be going to Delaware, get to her cousin to get to safety. She never makes it there. And see, she's just a casualty of something that really don't have nothing to do with her. How sad is that, right? So now throughout this episode, we see Kanan looking, trying to figure out what's going on, looking for Crystal, trying to see what happened to Crystal, what's going on with Crystal. He's very upset. He's calling around. He can't find her. And then he even has a conversation with his mother, Rock. And when he has this conversation with his mother, Rock, she came to him because it was Crystal who told her to come to him. She comes to him because, he already lost Famous, so he's traumatized from losing Famous. And she says, listen, I'm only coming to you because your girlfriend told me, she came and told me a few days ago, she told me that you were going to do something stupid and for me to talk you out of it. And that triggers him even more. So now he's thinking she has something to do with his girlfriend being missing. And she's like, what? She's like, they're like telling her Crystal's missing. She's like, what? Wait a minute. I don't know nothing about that, son. I don't know nothing about that. If I did, like she told him, if I did, why would I bring her up to you if I knew I did something to her? But Kane is not trying to hear that, which is crazy. He's really not trying to hear that at all. And then we see Kanan going over to, I believe this is Crystal's stepfather. He's minding his business, doing his job as a janitor, cleaning the hallway, and Kanan asks him some questions. And next Kanan asked him, did he see Crystal? He said, no, haven't seen her. And he mentioned, she don't really get along that well with her mother. And Kanan punches him in the face, start kicking him in the stomach, and tell him, I heard you like to touch her, right? So he's getting his revenge that way. And then he's like, now if you hear anything from Crystal, you're going to let me know, right? Right? And the guy's like, oh, all beat up. And then the funny part, I don't know about y'all, this made me laugh, because the janitor, he took the dirty mop water and poured it out all on the man. But hey, I don't feel sorry for this dude, because this dude was touching Crystal, so you get what you got. So Kanan's looking on that, doing that. Meanwhile, what else is going on here? We have, which was really crazy. Early decides he wants to confront Marvin about his cousin, because Marvin killed his cousin, and he's like, I know you had something to do with that. Marvin first was like, my condolences. Then Marvin was like, hold on, if I did, what you gonna do about it? Totally sunned him. What you gonna do about it? Which is true. Like, what are you gonna do about it? But guess what he did do about it? Early decides he's gonna go on over there to Stefano and tell Stefano everything. Now, this is bad. This is really bad business. So now, when Rock and Marvin have this meeting with Stefano, they have to have this conversation with Stefano. And why they have to have this have a conversation with Stefano? Because we also saw early in this episode, we seen David, kooky crazy David, who's one of their connections, get killed, and he was killed by Unique. So he's killed, so this messes up the supply, and so now Rock and Marvin have to go to Stefano saying, listen, we need some help, because David's dead now, so we don't have no way to move our product. Maybe you can help us. Well, so while they're having that conversation, that's when Stefano's like talking, and he's throwing little slick stuff Marvin's way, and he says, Rock, can I bend your ear for a little bit? And he says, Marvin, you excuse us, I want to speak to her privately. And that's when Stefano basically tells her, listen, Early told me that Marvin did this, why, that, and the third. Totally mentions all that, but he also says, but he also, she says, because she's trying to defend Marvin, she says, you can't trust Early. Early's a liar, this, that, and the third. He's not to be trusted. And Stefano's like, speaking of not to be trusted, your brother, totally lying, your brother tried to cross you, was thinking about taking you out and replacing you, like getting you out of the business and replacing you. Not taking you out like killing her, but taking her out of the leadership and replacing her. And she's like, I don't believe that or anything. But he put that in her ear, and that's got her. Rock is like feeling some kind of way, because Marvin has already did this little side business with Stefano. So, so she's a little upset about that. And I was like, boy, this Stefano is something. He's really trying to get crazy here. And that was really funny. I shouldn't say funny, but that was really interesting right there. I said, now what is Stefano's game right here? He's trying to do this whole divide and conquer, but Rock is a little bit smarter than that. But it does put a little battery in her back, and she's kind of like looking at, she's definitely looking at Marvin a little bit differently. Then what else happens in here? We see that throughout this episode, we see that Detective Garcia is trying to find Jukebox, right? And, he has questions for her. And when Jukebox is having a conversation with Mara says, hey, this detective who, he came up to me, he gave me his information, he's looking for you, he asked me some questions about you, he started telling me about your family, this, and that, the third. We see him do that. She gives her the card, we see that. And then later in the episode, we see when Jukebox has her conversation with Aisha, they get reunited. She gets reunited with Aisha, who was in the group with her, and they also have like a little love interest, and they're having a conversation. And here comes Detective Garcia again, asking more questions and telling her he's gonna bother her till he gets some information out of her, because that's what detectives do. They gotta keep getting you till they can. They gotta keep speaking out on you until they can. What else happened here? Let's see. Let's see what happened after that. Let's go into Lulu. Lulu's situation. The police come over to the studio. They're asking questions. It's Lulu, B-Rilla, and Amani. This is all B-Rilla's fault, because B-Rilla had that stupid idea to rob Lowell's house, and that went haywire and backfired. And then they had to take out those other guys, the guys that just getting greedy and get carried away and want to try to rob them again. And so Lou had to kill those guys. So now the police are here trying to figure out, put two and two together and see how they're involved. Because listen, these are the same guys, the same bullets that was at Lowell's house. What's going on? These victims are the same dudes we placing their weapons or their bullets or whatever at Lowell's place. And so Lulu and of course B Rilla are saying they ain't got nothing to do with none of it, this, that, and the third. And Lulu uses Imani as his alibi. And she doesn't pretty much like that at all. So what this does is cause her, when she sees Lulu later on, to tell Lulu, you know what, sir? I don't want to be tied into I don't want to be accomplished to your foolishness. And I get it, rightfully so. I don't want to be an accomplice to your foolishness. I'm out. I don't want to be bothered with you. In fact, I don't even want to work with you. I don't want a business relationship with you or anything. Now, this trickles down to Lowell, and Lowell has a meeting with Lulu, and he pretty much says, what's going on? We can't have that street stuff here, this, that, and the third. And then Lulu says, you know what? I quit. I totally quit. I'm out of the game. I'm out of the business. I'm out. I'm totally out. I'm out. I'm a street dude. This is what I'm going to do. And then, of course, this has B Rilla upset. B Rilla's like, you told me you was going to be by my side, this, that, and the third. He said, look, I got you out of jail, right? So now B Rilla's like, I need work. So now it looks like B Rilla will be working with Lulu on whatever Lulu needs him to do. Then we had something that I was not expecting. And that is, remember Marvin's Alcohol Anonymous friend who had the child and they became cool and all that? He decides to check up on her. Marvin decides to check up on her, goes to the school, finds out the girl has not been to school. Amber, she has not been to school in eons. They're always calling out sick. So he had to pay the school official to get her contact information to find out where she is. Does that, gets over to Amber's foster parents' home. They are total trailer drug trash. And they're being real funny acting and trying not to let him in and say, oh, she's sick, mind your business, this, that, and the third. And then he hears her say, Uncle Marvin, or she yells something. And he busts through that door, took care of those two losers, killed them both, breaks Amber loose. Amber's holding a baby, little child, and clearly she was being abused. Poor Amber can't get a break. He says, listen, he ends up killing those two losers, tells Amber, listen, Amber, call the police. When you call the police, tell them some white boy with tattoos did this, and I'll catch up with you. So okay, he has this connection with her, and I like that. And I like that he's protecting her, and he has a bond with her. And I thought that was pretty cool. Now, we see Unique go to Phil Russo, and Phil Russo tells him, I know that you had David killed. And he's like, no, that wasn't me. You know how it was a gay lover's quarrel and all that. That's what he said. It was a gay lover's spat. That's pretty much what he said. That had nothing to do with me. I didn't have anything to do with it. He's denying that, which was really interesting. So Unique is really taking things down. But what was even more interesting, not only that meeting with him and Phil Russo, but the meeting with Kanan and Unique. That was a great scene right there. Kanan came right up in there, and Unique told him, listen, I don't know nothing about your little girlfriend, and I don't know nothing about your friend. He said it's your Puerto Rock friend. That's a term they use when they were referring to Puerto Rico. I don't know nothing about the Puerto Rock, talking about famous. And he said, my beef is with your mother. But you had something to do with my brother's death. And Kanan was like, yes, I did. That was all me, and I would do it again. And I was like, yo, that was bold, but that was a great scene. And that impressed Unique, because Unique was like, I ain't really rock with my brother like that anyway. But he was like, I'm impressed with that. And they're thinking, you and I could be a force. You and I could be a team. We could work together. And I was like, now this is crazy. What's the name is so mad with his mother. He's willing to, you going to work with Unique? And he knows that it will bust, because he even said, you only want to work with me just to get under my mother's skin. And, y'all collaborate. That was crazy. That is completely crazy. And then we see Jukebox reach out to Detective Garcia to help her try to track down Crystal, because we still haven't found Crystal. And Detective Garcia lets her know, yeah, we did find a Jane Doe, and she confirms, oh yes, that's her. So now she knows that Aisha is not missing. Aisha's dead. So that was that situation. So I'm like, wow, this show, this show is just something else. And now we have the moment where, which the show just is so many great moments, so many scenes, so many moving parts to this. And then we have the scene where Kanan goes to Pops and Snap. And he has this conversation with Pops and Snap. And, you know, he's asking about Aisha now. And Pops was like, you know, bitches run off all the time or something like that, she said. But they said, but we got some information on that other thing. And this was so low down and dirty. Why they tell him, son, it was your mother that killed your friend. We found out she hired some dirty cops to do it. And that just filled Kanan's head up with that. And I'm like, oh my God, what is... Oh, so he's pissed off now. Then we see Lulu go back to Rock and tell Rock, I want back in the business. Forget all this music stuff. No more rapping and all that. I'm back in. That's that. She has a talk. Listen, you can't be in and out. You in. You got to prove yourself. This, that, and the third. He says he's in. And at the end of the episode, both Lulu and Rock confront Unique. And that's how the episode ended, with them confronting Unique, telling them, we need to talk. Now, this was a great episode, a solid season, another great episode. Tell me your thoughts. What did you think about it? Tell me, what did you think? I thought it was great. I thought it was solid. This show always has me like this, like what's going to happen next? What's going to happen next? How they going to get out of this? How they going to handle that? Great episode. Great season. Thank you for watching. Tell me your thoughts down below. And I will see you in the next video, which will be the season finale review. The review of the season finale of Raising Kanan. That is episode 10. I know you're saying, finally, but thank you, thank you, thank you. I do apologize again. So thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you all in the next video.